person. Everything and every step, there is something which is coming. When a river flows, it is not going to get a ready-made passage. There will be stones, there will be trees, there will be everything, and you just have to flow through it. I would tell people, come live for others. As a principal, it's not possible to list your roles. It's something like being the mother of the house. You have to keep moving from point A to point B. But nothing in life comes easy. If you want gain in life, there has to be pain in life.
Myself Gaurav Garg, and we welcome all our viewers to our show Amazing Mentor. Today with us is Dr. Anshu Arora. She is CBSE awardee and principal of Amity International School, Gurugram. She has over 27 years of teaching and administrative experience in prestigious institutions like DAV, Ryan and Bal Bharti. She also mentored Bal Bharti School at Chennai, recipient of Jewel of India Award, Limca Book Recognition, Best Principal, Best Guru winner at Cyber Fair, and an All India topper from Hotel Management Pusa. She has also authored 2 fictions, The School Tales for School Children and Say Bye to Goodbye for Young Adults. She has also developed an app iBrain to increase memory and also designed a course for Udemy, a popular MOOC. She is also a YouTuber and a blogger. It's a pleasure to welcome Dr. Anshu Arora to our show Amazing Mentor. Welcome Dr. Anshu Arora.
Thank you, Mr. Garg. Thank you.
So tell us about your childhood and hobbies you enjoyed as a child.
Okay, I had a very simple childhood, I would say. I grew up in a simple family. My father was an educationist. So my house was like a library. I mean, you would be surprised there were more books in my drawing room than what you would typically see in a primary school library. All the 4 walls were full of books. Every evening I was only meeting professors. In the evenings I would actually be going to the college, taking rounds there, listening to what happened during the day. So it was all fun. I had 2 elder brothers. I went to a convent. So I think I had the right environment and atmosphere to grow and get the best in life.
And what about the hobbies? What all hobbies you enjoyed?
I used to be a child who used to read a lot of textbooks. I have seen children who read, very interested in reading fiction. But as a kid, I remember I was more interested in reading my brother's books, reading the books that my father had in the library. So I used to read a lot. Apart from that, I think I was into painting. I was very active in school. So each and every activity that was taking part in school, be it debate, declamation, writing or drama, whatever, I was always a part of it. So school was my extended hobby center also.
So where did you completed your schooling?
I did my 10th. Till 10th I was in Our Lady of Fatima Convent, Gurgaon. Then I went to Holy Child Auxilium, Delhi. So further with college, I initially joined Delhi University, Venkateshwara College, but later I went on to do my hotel management from Pusa. I got married pretty early and therefore, there was a little break in my career. Then I later finished my B.Ed, Masters and PhD both from Kurukshetra University.
And were you an introvert or an extrovert child?
I would say a mix of both. I'm not the kind of person who will ever go and open a conversation with a person. So till that point, you can say I'm an introvert. But once I get to know a person, the person would never be able to say that I'm an introvert. But I just have that little, first inhibition. I cannot be the first person going and saying hello to someone. So, and in many ways, I think people are somewhere a mix. You can't be categorically black and white all the time. So there are certain areas which are in this gray zone as well.
So any naughty moment you remember of your childhood?
I wouldn't say that was really something that we had planned for. It just kind of happened. We were in kindergarten, KG. So we were just, half the class kind. We were inside the class. The other half had gone out and this was lunch break. And I don't know what happened. We just kept a table next to the door and we locked the door. And once the door was locked, we were too young to even understand how to open it, what has really gone wrong. And then the teacher and half the kids got locked outside. So I remember this 1 hour conversation where, sisters, and the principal was also a sister because it was a convent. And even my brother was from his class, all the elder kids were also called so they could talk to their younger siblings. So sometimes, very innocent act turns into something which looks naughty later on. So it was something, a mix of being naughty or being innocent or somewhere in the middle of it.
So, what was your dream profession as a child?
One thing I think was very clear that I wanted to always serve people. So yeah, there were a couple of things, like typically in our country we say doctor ban jao. I never thought of becoming an engineer because mujhe laga engineers don't directly serve people. But being a professor, being a teacher, or working in any area where I work with people, I think I'm more of a people person. So that was something which was very clear to me. Teaching, of course, I think runs in my blood because my father was a professor. So I think I have chosen something which is very close to my heart, and I'm very, very happy that I made this choice.
So, the motivation to be a teacher was mainly from your father?
Yes, quite a bit. I think he, in his own ways, I think changed the destiny of his family, of his own self. He used to belong to a extremely rich Marwadi family where, he had this huge business just waiting for him. He had everything that a man would ask for. There was house, there was all kind of luxuries, but he took a step and he said, no, I don't want all this. I want to study. So he left his home to study. In today's time, we are trying to tell children, pad lo. It was just the other way around. So he was such a big role model that, there was no way I could underestimate this. That thought that education is so important that, everything which came to him like on a platter, he gave away because he wanted to, change the destiny of his own, this thing, I would say his own clan. Today, if we look at our family, even my extended cousins, there is now a big change. After him, children, his cousins, everyone got that message that it's not important to just, pursue your family business. You could do more, you could, nurture your talent, you could go and live your dreams. So now, as a result, we have people in all spheres of our lives. So that I think his impression was huge, larger than life.
So, where did you started your career from?
I picked up my first job in DAV, and at that point, I think my graduation result was there. I did not have a beard, so I was just, I just had this 2 year computer course, and the principal literally thought that I wouldn't be loud enough, though she thought I'm good enough otherwise. But I think it's come a long way. I was able to debug everything. I was able to study more. I could grow and emerge. Today, trust me, I can take an assembly of 1,000 children without a mic. So, when you are in the particular profession, you cultivate the skills which are needed in it.
So, what all challenges you faced while starting your career journey?
I wouldn't say there was a challenge, and I think that's a word which we use very casually. If you're leading your life, I mean, everything and every step, there is something which is coming. What we need to talk about is problem solving. What we need to talk about is strategy. What we need to talk about is how did we, change that situation around. Any other girl in my place could have also said, ki, okay, meri to 20 saal mein shaadi ho gayi. I had not even done graduation. I was not even allowed to do my hotel management. So what do you expect from me? I just looked at it, ki, ab ye to ho hi gaya hai. Now also I have to change it for me. My kids I got married very early. My kids were born very early. But nothing became a deterrent because I did not allow it to be a deterrent. There were all kind of phases, but I would still not like to call it a challenge. I think that is life. When a river flows, it is not going to get a ready-made passage. There will be stones, there will be trees, there'll be everything, and you just have to flow through it. So being with all this, that was at sometimes a little pressurizing, or I think I learned more because I was sometimes in very difficult situations. You learn more when you are in pain. You don't learn as much if you're very happy and thrilled with life. So I learned a lot. I grew in many, many ways. A lot opened for me. My perspective shaped. And that's, how I could write books. That's how I could contribute to society. I think that added to me as a finer person. When I deal with people now, I have such a big team. I think the reason why things come to me naturally, why I'm able to quickly step into someone else's shoe is because I have been through a lot myself. So it's just made me a more humble person, and I would say a happier person.
So you play many roles in your day-to-day life, like you are an administrator, educator, author, speaker, and a lifelong learner. So where did you get so much of energy from?
From children, completely and totally, truly from school kids. If you just send me in a nursery, kindergarten class for half an hour, you can put me out of any trouble, any tension. Being with children, I forget all the worries that there could be in life, their innocence, their love for you, the way they express themselves, how they're wanting to learn in life. How I really feel, if I can make an iota of difference in one person's life also, I think that will be a big accomplishment. And I would say, I'm so grateful to God that there are more than 2,000 children in the campus. And, we are responsible for them. So being able to think for them, being able to plan things for them, execute things for their betterment, I think that's where the energy comes from. And I think my team also has the same driving force. If I make my teachers work extra hours or do whatever, and I make them understand this is for children, I can see them wholeheartedly into it.
So you have a vast experience of 27 plus great years. How is your journey till date?
Wonderful, fantastic. I mean, every 1 year I tell myself, okay, is it all or do I have something more? And I think last 1 year was by far the best, because what I could learn, what I could experiment with, what I could give back to society was so huge. We have never ever thought, like in decades and in the whole century, that schools could work from home. That is something which became a reality. So, if you have 27 experience and years and the same experience, then to me it is 1 year experience. Then it is 1 year you have repeated it 27 times. I'm happy that my 27 years have been so unique. Trust me, as a principal, especially, even 2 days in my life are not the same. I may go with whatever plan to school, but it is when I sit on my desk that my day starts and my plan starts. I may have something at the back of my mind, but if there is some situation waiting, if there is some emergency in the school, if there is something which needs my attention, then my plan, of course, has to take a back seat. And I will never leave my table unless my work is done for the day. So I think it's beautiful. It's in many, many ways, it just opens up so much every year for me, and I'm very grateful.
So any particular moment you would like to share in your professional journey, worst and best?
Worst and best? Okay, if you'd ask me the best moment, I think when I got the CBSE award. I was, because everyone told me कि ये नहीं मिलता. Why are you even trying? इसके लिए तो बहुत कुछ. Do you know someone? That's what everyone kept asking me. I said, no, I don't know anyone. Form and let me just fill it. Let's see what will happen. And it needed a lot of documentation. So, I wasn't very prepared, to be very honest. So I had to do that in a very short span. I was really fighting against time to send my documents because it was all online. And I did not know. I thought there's a very, very little chance. I looked at it as a very, very low probability. So when I could get that, I somewhere felt very nice. I felt okay, my work, and trust me, I was not able to submit all of it because of the paucity of time. Because whatever documents were there ready with me, those were the only ones I could send. I had not planned. So I was happy that, someone sitting elsewhere in his office or her office could look at my papers, could recognize and appreciate the fact that, I have worked for children, with children, and I'm passionate about the cause. So I would say that was a very big moment. To ask me for a worst moment, I think I would like to tell you that there was once a child who tried committing suicide in school. So we were quite lucky that we understood the situation. She was almost fainting, and we were able to rush her to the hospital. And later we found out that she had actually gulped down some 20, antidepressants and things like that. So I think while we were saved for the day, the child was fine within 2-3 hours of, her stomach being washed. But, those are literally nightmares, because, that really opened so much for me that I never, at looking at that girl, and she was writing her pre-board for grade 12. I could never imagine that this level of anxiety was playing on her mind. So when we look at their faces, sometimes it's very tough to understand what's going on their mind. After that, I became very particular. For me now, a child's inner health, his mental state is very important. This year also, when we could not directly connect with children, we started a mentor-mentee program where we just called up children and we spoke to them. It's important that the children get heard. Later when I spoke to that child, the child was facing so much anxiety. I so wish she had come and spoken to us before taking that step. Children should become a little more conscious of, these actions. Maybe a human is gone after that, but there's so much that you leave behind. There's a complete void. I think I would have not, myself personally, I would have never forgiven myself. Her parents would have never got to terms with things. So you should understand that while you may be all alone, you are an individual in many, many ways. You're connected with society around. And there is no reason that you take away your own life. I think you owe it to the world. Even if you've lost everything in your life, even the desire to live, I would tell people, come live for others. There's so much to do. अपना ही तो दिल टूटा है ना, अपना ही तो ख्वाब खत्म हो गए. So what, big deal. और किसी के ख्वाब में थोड़ा हाथ बढ़ा दीजिए, किसी और को जाइए, किसी एनजीओ में जाइए, कुछ सेवा कर लीजिए. Do something. Give some meaning to your life. Bring happiness to someone.
Of course, rightly said. So, what does award mean to you? How much energy or boost does an award give to you?
No, I wouldn't say that it means a lot to me. But then it becomes a kind of a recognition. Somewhere you have to get that feeling that, okay, wow, yeah, you're doing the right thing. So someone, somewhere, otherwise you're an individual, you are your own universe. उस universe में I am doing whatever I am doing because I think I'm responsible and I am kind of listening to God and His inner voice. That being said, when you get any kind of human recognition, even when children look up to you, talk to you, or come and remind you of an incident or a word that you have told them at some point in time, then you feel okay. Your words have lived up to something. Your child has bothered to remember what you said. So that's just like, it's a little pat, that's about it. When it comes for a little moment, you feel good, and then you work in the same energy, and sometimes you feel, it's like a good feel factor for a while.
So it's been 27 years, you never thought of changing your profession?
Oh, not at all. I would like to work with children till the last day of my life, and trust me, people who are in this industry, what would they change for? No one gets into this industry to make a lot of money. They always get into it for the passion of teaching and for the love of children. And I am able to get both. Rather, at this particular juncture in my life, I'm able to connect with parents, grandparents, and society, at a different level, beyond children also. So, our thoughts, if my thoughts can influence them, if I can help both in decision making, I think you feel good enough. I think that's a good thing. What else can you do in your life? So I feel it's a very fulfilled life that I'm leading.
So as a principal, Amity International School, what are your roles and responsibilities?
As a principal, it's not possible to list your roles. It's something like being the mother of the house. So you cannot say where your responsibility starts and where it ends. So basically, I look at school as my second home. And everything on that campus, I think I am responsible for.
You had authored two fictions, The School Tales for School Children and Say Bye to Goodbye for Adults. Where did you get the inspiration from?
Again, School Tales. Basically, that's my tribute to the two schools that I've attended. Both have been convent. I have been through convent all through. So Our Lady of Fatima Gurgaon and Holy Child Auxilium. It actually has a lot of memories of my growing up years. I put that in form of 5 characters talking to each other and what I actually experienced in the classroom. Different situations, different learnings. So that has come from there. The second book, Say Bye to Goodbye, that I wrote because my college was doing a Golden Jubilee. So I wanted to kind of present this book to the college, which again, a lot of people don't know that what is a hotel management college, what are the subjects which are taught, what is the campus life. There's a lot. It's again a world in itself. And there are authors like Chetan Bhagat who have shown us IIT. So likewise, I thought we must show people what is IHM. So that was written with that desire to bring my college to the forefront. So both of them, I think, in some way are tribute to my institutions. Apart from that, I have written computer and aptitude series. That is totally for children who are studying computers as a subject, right from grade 1 to 8. I have also co-authored CBSE manual for students, and I have written a Hindi poetry book, contributed, like I'm a co-author, Kahi Ankahi, and I write blogs, I write poetry, and I contribute in magazine articles.
So you have developed an app known as iBrain Power to increase memory. So tell us more about this app.
That is something with which I have worked for the last 2 decades. Actually, some 25 years back, I had opened a small institute where even as a kid, I used to feel that there is nothing called bad and good memory. Because I saw in my larger family, like I was telling you, that my father was the only one who decided to, take the step, and he thought he has to study, and that's how he got his degree, and that's how he became a professor. But when I used to look at my other uncles and kids, I always felt that they also had the brain. No one lacks memory. The only difference is there is a trained memory and there is an untrained memory. Then, when a child comes to the school, the teachers are teaching, but no one really teaches a child how to learn. So, it's that area which I have tried to bridge. And then there are these kind of factors. They'll give you a history book in hand, and the very second moment someone will come and tell you history is mystery. History to yaad nahi hoti. History, all that plays in our mind in a big way. And when I used to study history, I used to get a lot of marks. And I used to wonder कि अभी तो लोग mystery बोल रहे थे, people were saying you wouldn't get marks, and here I am getting marks also. How is all this happening? And then I realized it's the learning techniques. We don't have linear memory, but our textbooks are all linear. Tabhi if I give you a 20-page article on Mahatma Gandhi, you will have a problem learning it word to word. But if I take you to show the movie Mahatma Gandhi, then you will be able to come and tell me all the dialogues. You will understand everything, whether it is Dandi March or Quit India, everything, because it's live. It has come as visuals, it has come as pictures, and you are able to recollect that better. And in case of an article, what are you doing? You're only using one organ, which is your eyes. And sometimes even, those close and people doze off in the middle of their reading. So it is the interest factor which needs to be captured. Now I know, and I have, suddenly said a lot of things which may look confusing, but in reality in my app, there are 30 videos. Each video is like 4 to 5 minutes. These are very short videos where I talk of a single concept. It's something like, I'll tell you, what is a flow chart? How can you use a flow chart to learn better? What are diagrams? What is an acronym? What is a mnemonic? What is a mind palace technique? What is storytelling technique? How can you learn via stories? So these are different videos I have done, and then I have given examples. I have done a 3-line story with which you can learn all the presidents or prime ministers of India. So it's all doable. When it comes to mathematics, there is a certain formula I teach in my video through which you can learn tables much faster. So it's just that you have to apply yourself in the right way. इतनी एनर्जी है, लेकिन जब वो एनर्जी एक साथ आ जाती है तो लेजर हो जाती है, फिर वो दीवार भी काट देती है और ऑपरेशन भी कर देती है. So it's just learning that, जो हमारी capacities हैं, उनको how can we just squeeze them, bring them in the right direction and use them for learning. Because I know information is vastly available all with the click of the mouse. But आज भी India में, if you want to succeed, you need to score marks. You need to crack the exams. So my app actually teaches you how to get more marks, how to perform better in life. And then it's also very embarrassing that you meet, let's say if I see you elsewhere and I'm not even able to recognize you. You're going to wonder, okay, this lady, she doesn't even remember my name. The other day we were on Zoom doing a session. So it's remembering someone's face. Even that is a part of memory. So it's not just in your subjects, but in real life that we need good memory. We can't just walk up to someone every day and say, "Excuse me, what's your name?" We have to learn names, make it a habit with us. And this
And
is a free app, by the way. It's also on my YouTube channel, Dr. Anshu Arora. This is literally my give back to society. I want more and more children, everyone to watch it and benefit.
so, what all lesson have you learned till date in your professional journey?
I have learned one thing, that you can't stay still. The day you tell yourself, I know it all, there is a trouble. You have to keep learning, you have to keep reinventing the wheel, you have to keep moving from point A to point B. If you just stay where you are, you will just fall down. Being, lifelong learner is something that I have also learned in my profession, and I totally believe in it. While I'm all the time enrolled in one or two MOOC program, I'm always learning something online, I'm always reading something. I always want to update my knowledge.
So, what all are do's and don'ts you would like to suggest to students who are just starting their career life?
I think start with a lot of positivity. While you talk to all the successful people, sometimes also understand from people who have not succeeded as to why they could not succeed. Because sometimes when people are successful and when they talk about their success, it looks like a cakewalk. But nothing in life comes easy. If you want gain in life, there has to be pain in life. I'll give you a beautiful example that, a surgeon in the hospital and a salesman, they both work. But I think a salesman does not get good enough return for all the hard work he's doing. Whereas a surgeon has to stand for a few hours, does an operation, and might actually get a 5-year salary of that salesman. Hard work is something which a person needs to put in. So I would suggest to young kids, please put it now. This is your time. Otherwise, you will have to work hard in installments, and the result is not going to be very good.
So, what would be your advice to students who want to be teacher or who want to choose teacher as their profession?
It's a beautiful profession. I think, if you want a better country, if you want to give back to society, I think teaching is just the right thing to do. Because, if we teach children better, then the face of the country will change. We will be able to write a better blueprint for the country. Nothing else can change the society as much as education can. If, just imagine for one moment, if everyone in this country was completely fully educated, understood everything, what a big change that would be. But it has to appeal to you. You can't do it just because I am feeling it, or someone is telling you to do it. Do it if you feel like doing it, because whatever you have passion for, that is the only field you will succeed in, and you will not get tired. Like, I will never get tired of schools, even if I keep working 24/7 all my life.
So, now we will start our rapid round. Favorite actor and actress?
Actor Shashi Kapoor, actress Meena Kumari.
Favorite color?
Green.
Your favorite destination?
Couple of them, but I love US because it has got clean water, fresh air. I also like Singapore, Dubai. They're very organized, systematic. So I like places which are clean, systematic, organized.
Your favorite car?
The small car, because I can only drive a small car.
Things in your wish list?
My wish list is almost done. I think whatever I wanted to do, I have sort of accomplished, done. But having said that, I'll think of making a new wish list now.
Dream house?
Simple, full of love.
Any one thing that you would like to change if you are provided superpower?
Poverty and population in the country. If that's something we could work around, I think India is beautiful. Or if we could use this population to get better results.
Second choice of career?
Second choice, I would then do social service. Working with old and people who have health issues or children who have needs and need support.
At last, that one line that defines you.
I'm at it. I am living life.
So thank you very much for your time. It was pleasure talking to you.
My pleasure. Have a good day. Thank you so much. God bless.